Hey 417, my name is Devin Hunt and we're at the Get Wet site. I've got here my assistant Mitchell.
Hello, hello.
And today we will be performing slug tests from a well. So, why do we perform a slug test?
Well, Devin, it's a good question that you asked that, and it's a good thing that I know this. So we perform slug tests in order to measure the recovery rates of an aquifer. So basically what we're going to be doing is putting a disturbance into the aquifer and seeing how long it takes for that water level to be disturbed and then go back to normal. It basically has a correlation to the sediment and the layers that are kind of within the aquifer below us right here at the Get Wet site.
Correct. Ultimately, we're trying to estimate the hydraulic conductivity of the medium around the well.
Absolutely. Well, if we'd like to head over to our well, we can explain our materials over there and we can get started with our experiments.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Would you like to start, Devin? Of course. Okay.
So here I have a pressure transducer. This actually reads the amount of pressure being inflicted upon it. And if I were to put it underneath water, we can derive the height of the water above the transducer itself.
Very nice, very nice. Likewise, we have a slug here. As you can see, it is a couple foot long PVC tube that has some sort of heavy material in it, such as sand or whatnot. It is sealed, and basically this is going to be the disturbance that we put into the aquifer. So his pressure transducer is going to measure the change that this PVC slug is going to change within the aquifer here. So if we'd like to get started with our pressure transducer.
Of course,
Awesome.
Yeah. The first step would be to carefully lower this transducer down. It's important not to bang it against the walls or anything because this is a very expensive piece of equipment. Something I can't afford. Oh my.
Very nice.
Yes. And the goal is to keep the transducer beneath the height that the slug will, drop to. That way you're not going to break it off of the cable. All right, now that the transducer is in place, you can now bring the slug in.
Awesome. So like Devin said, the whole goal of having the pressure transducer below the slug is to keep it from actually hitting the slug. So if my hand, hitting the pressure transducer. So if my hand was the transducer, we would not want this to be banging against that expensive piece of machinery because neither Devin nor I could afford to fix that. So what we would like to do is place this directly above the transducer itself. To start with, I should say though, we do want the tip of this slug to be right above the height of the water, so right above the aquifer level. When we do perform the actual experiment, what we will be doing is dropping this slug as quick as possible down below the aquifer level, just below it in all honesty. And from there, we'll wait a couple minutes, maybe 10-15 minutes or so. And then from there, we'll basically pull it out as quick as possible and allow that water to kind of settle back to where it was originally. So what that's gonna look like is me coming over here to the well, lowering it down. It is attached to this nice high quality scientific string with a cap on the end so that we do not drop this, as it is a very expensive and complicated machinery piece. We will lower this down until we get to the height of the water level, and you should be able to hear it and or feel it. Somewhere around there, right there. So then we are right above the water level as is. Devin will start to record pressure on his pressure transducer attached to a computer. And then as soon as he starts that recording, I will drop this down as quickly as possible, wait 10 to 15 minutes, and from there, pull it up as quick as possible. And so I pull it all the way out just like this. And that measurements will be now recorded here. Devin, anything to add?
Yep. So once you take the slug all the way out of the well, you'll be able to pull the transducer back up. And then we'll take a look at the data. And luckily they export as a CSV, so we can look at this right in R.